Good morning. I'm here in sunny Alberta on a day which is either +2 or -20. Every day it's one or the other, it seems. We're in the middle of global warming and it is a strange weather world. So on that happy note, I'm going to, I will start with our lotus mudra. So I'm sitting in a half lotus, but you don't have to do that. And if you're sitting in a half lotus, you might want to change your legs. You can just sit in easy pose and feel as though you have that magnanimous puppeteer and she is pulling on that string at the top of your crown chakra and drawing you up. And I just wanted to say one word about our lumbar. And a friend of mine has a very bad back, and I've been teaching her and thinking about her back. So one thing to remember is that our back has a hollow here, and we need to maintain it. So sometimes we're instructed to like tilt our pelvis forward and flatten our back. So most of the time, it's important to keep that lumbar curl there when we're doing our poses. So when we're doing forward bends and that sort of thing, we want to keep that curve because it's very protective of our back. And here on the floor, I'm going to sit on a special cushion my dear late friend Debbie Gorham gave me that says, "Buying more and more shoes was the real solution to her problems." She gave that to me about 30 years ago. Seems to have, the advice seems to have lasted. So I'm sitting on a little cushion or a blanket, and I'm sitting in easy pose. And I'm thinking about that lovely curvature in my spine, and I'm feeling that lift up. And I'm just going to press into my hands here. This is good for your wrists. And then I'm going to press into my hands here. And then I'm going to press into my hands here, keeping the thumb and the baby finger together and opening up the other fingers. And I'm kind of lifting my elbows, so it's kind of a lovely, you can move your elbows like this, you can open it wider. And if you have arthritic fingers like I do, this is actually quite a good stretch. So the story goes, I'll give you the short version. You cannot have the lotus flower without the mud. So let's start here with the mud. So here we have the lotus stem in the water, and my friend Linda gave me the advice to wave your fingers around like the roots of the lotus in the mud. And here we have the lotus bud, and here we have the lotus blooming. What comes, if we're lucky, what we have to recognize as this beautiful lotus bloom. So let's try that one more time. Here are the roots of the lotus. Here is the bud of the lotus. And here is the open lotus and the beauty of it. Let's just move our hands around. This is good for your wrists as well. So I love these mudras, which are hand gestures in yoga that have meaning, have philosophical meaning. And they're also wonderful movements for joint mobility, apparently. All right, so let's move our fingers up and down here. And move out. And let's move in towards our heart. Let's give our heart, let's hold on to our heart. Just feel the beating of your heart. Let's be grateful that it's still beating. We're still alive and going strong, many of us. All right, let's open our hands up. Let's give our arms a little love here. Open them up, arms a little love. And now you can change the crossing of your feet if you have them crossed. There we go. Now let's just do right now, because we're sitting and we're thinking about our arms, let's do eagle arms. So you'll put your left arm under, stretch, stretch, stretch. You can give yourself a hug, and then you can straighten up those arms, palms beside, back to back, and then move your palms together. So it's a very twisty thing, and it's a good movement for your shoulders. And here we're just going to lift those arms up, and then we're going to move them out away from our face. I'll just show you. So we can lift them up, and then we can move them out towards the front of the room. And this is a very good shoulder opener here for the morning. Very nice. And this reminds me, when we're thinking about our heart and about flexibility, the Dalai Lama, when asked what his religion was, he said, "My religion is kindness." So opening my arm out, so let's give ourselves a lovely self-compassionate hug with the other arm underneath, and then we can straighten those arms up, palms back to back, and then put our palms together and stretch our arms up and stretch those top arms out. Good. Very good. And we're just going to sit here for a moment, enjoying the somewhat torturous work of eagle arms, which is a good shoulder mover. All right, and we're breathing here. We're inhaling and we're exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And now we're opening those arms out gently. So your shoulders may be a bit cramped. And we're going to just drop back onto our straight arms here and open our chest up here. Really open our chest up. It's early in the morning here. It's lovely to open our chest up. You may feel some stretching in your deltoids, in your upper arm. Good. And now we're just going to roll our shoulders out and roll them the other way. Good. So let's come down onto our hands and knees here, and we'll just do some gentle cat-cow and feel the beauty of our cat and cow. So here we go. We're going to up into cat. We're drawing our spine up, and we're really seeing if we can draw the upper spine up as well as the lower spine. And now we're going to lower our belly and our spine, and we are going to really feel that the way it is when it is in cow. And here we go. We're up into cat, and we're down into cow. Up into cat, down into cow. And now we're going to do some bird dog movements here. So we're going to lift your right arm up, and then your left leg up, and pressing through the heel here, and balancing in bird dog. And if you like, you can rotate your foot around and move your ankle. This is a bit of joint mobility in the middle of a balancing pose. And then we're going to draw that knee in towards the elbow and extend it out. My teacher, Angela, used this movement yesterday, and I thought it was really helpful for developing strength as well as balance. And we'll do two more here. Good. And we're going to do the other arm. And we're going to lift the other leg up and press into the hand here. And we're balancing and feeling the beauty of the day wherever you are. Think of something beautiful about this time of day. Here it's before dawn. There are probably coyotes out roaming around, maybe in the front yard. I live very near a beautiful river valley. There were deer here for many years, but they seem to have taken off for another location. And now we're going to draw that knee and elbow in and extend it out. and draw it in and extend it out, and draw it in and extend it out. Extend out through your heel and your hand. Good. Put it down. Now we're going to do some rotation here. We're just going to rotate our hips here. This is good for the tango and whatever tango-like opportunities you have in life. And joint mobility is a real indicator of our age. It's as long as we can maintain our spinal mobility, we're in pretty good shape in life. All right. One of my students is 87 and she is a dynamo. She's my role model. All right, I'm just doing a few cat and cows because I can. And I'm just going to really wiggle my spine in any way that I feel like it in my shoulders. Just feeling everything come alive. And then I'm going to move in the opposite direction of whatever wiggly. This is kind of the wiggles, I'd call it. This is the wiggly spine. And it's a really lovely movement, depending on your spine. And now we're just going to come back into child's pose and stretch our arms out. And we're going to move our arms over. Let's move our arms over to the left. And we're just walking our arms over and stretching over the left thigh. And we're feeling a beautiful elongation of the spine here and of the arm here from the tips of the fingers. So it would be the tips of your right fingers to the back right glute here. So we're really feeling an opening in the side. And with that opening, we can imagine our ribs are an accordion that we're going to play. We're going to inhale and exhale. Opening those side ribs. Inhale into the side body and the back body, and exhaling. Inhaling one more time into the side and the back body, and then exhaling. And now we're going to move over to the other side. And we're stretching here, feeling that beautiful stretch on the side. I feel it right along my outer arm and outer shoulder. And I am just breathing here. I'm attending to the Dalai Lama saying, kindness is a religion. And stretching out in the front, top. And back we go. Good. Sitting back on our heels, opening our arms up and looking up. Now we're going to do a not a very long toe squat, but if you do a toe squat every day, your toes will be magnificently stretched. And so I'm sitting up here. We're all morning glories here. Sitting up, we can lift our arms up to the sun and stretch our hands out. And we are sitting on our toes. If this is too much, you can, of course, come forward and release your toes. But I am just going to sit here, beggar for punishment that I am, and feel my toes really stretching. And stretching out my hands now, and coming back and smacking the tops of my feet on the ground. There we go. Now, here we go. Let's move our hands back and go back into child's pose for a minute. And now let's come up. Let's sit one more time on our toes here and see how that feels. Well, it doesn't really feel any better than the first time, as it turns out. It feels like a modest, torturous sit. But it does get much easier over time if you did this every day. And I have been doing it quite regularly. I couldn't do this at all before. So it is much better. And it is useful because toe mobility is essential for our balance. As we age, falling is an issue that can affect it can be a life and death situation. People who fall can develop all kinds of other ailments over 65 and die. So it's very important to keep our toes mobile. Okay, here we go. We're going to smack our toes into the ground here. Very nice. All right. And let's come down onto the ground, onto our belly, and do a little bit of a back bend here. And it can be very modest back bend, just the upper. But depending on your back, if you have a very sore back, you could just lift up the lower back. You could just lift up your shoulders. And if you want to, you can press your fingers into the ground, make them into cups kind of, and bend your elbows, press into the ground, and then lift up, inhaling, pressing, 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 inhaling, and then exhaling down. Pressing, 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 inhaling, and then coming down. Now we're going to put our hands underneath our shoulders. We're going to press into the ground and come up into cobra. And then we're going to come down. And now we're going to do some lotus work. I'm taking off my glasses, which are uncomfortable. And we're just going to roll our shoulders up, and then our chest, and then our head. We don't want to lead with our head. And then we're lifting our arms up, and now we're lifting our legs up, any amount. And we're really feeling our back muscles working. And we're breathing here, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And now we're coming down. And we're going to push back towards a child's pose here. And then we're going to lift up into a downward dog. And you can just keep your knees bent here if you like. You can pedal out your feet. Very nice. Pedaling out your feet. Oh, feeling that lovely stretch in your back. You can let your head, release your head. Press into your hands. Feel your body go quite loose here. Just bend your knees. Just give into the pose here. Just relax in it. Now let's just stretch stand on our tiptoes here. Bend our knees, draw our belly towards our thighs, and then stretching our legs up. Try and maintain your belly on your thigh, which of course you can't, but it's all in the imagination. And here I am rotating my upper arms out, and we're staying in this down dog just for another moment. It's a lovely pose to catch our breath. And we're breathing into our back body, our side body. Everything is quite open. And now we're going to lift our left leg up, pointing the toe, and drawing that knee towards your chest, and we're going to draw it in to do some pigeon work. Now this might be difficult for you, so you might want to have blocks under your thighs. And I'm just here with my foot on the diagonal. So the front foot is pointed on the diagonal. And I am pushing into the floor with my hands. You could have, I'll show you on the opposite side. You just stay there. You could have your hands on blocks if it felt better. And you could have a cushion under your thigh. I'll just demonstrate it. So I'll use the other foot. So this foot is in the front. Oops. The other one is in the back. And I have a cushion here, and I'm just sitting on it here. if this is too much for you. And you could have your hands here to keep you upright. So there are lots of variations here to be able to do it in a modified version. All right, so you can come up now. Let's come up, go back into downward dog here, and then stretch the other leg out and bring it down. I'll use the same leg just to show you. And I'll turn off my alarm. I have many mysterious alarms in the morning to get me out of bed for various things. All right, so you're down here, and you may have support underneath your leg, or you might just be stretching back, and you may have blocks, or you could be on the ground. And of course, if you like, you can come down further. You could come down onto your forearms on blocks, or you could come down onto the floor. You could come all the way down, if you like, and rest your head on your forehead on your arms, your hands. This is excellent for sciatica. So sciatica is that really irritating pain you can get that runs up and down your leg and your glute, and it's just a very, very painful aberration, which often happens to people. So this is a really good glute stretching, sciatica fixing pose. So it helps you not get sciatica pain. And I'll just demonstrate coming down all the way. So I just make a little pillow with my hand and put my forehead down. But you do you, as they say. All right, good. Now I'm rolling back on my hip, and I'm going to come up into a twist. Which is just feet out, one foot over the other, and twisting here. Good. And here I want to stretch up here as I twist around. Now, if you have lower back pain, this is not the best for you necessarily. So in that case, I would just sit in Dandasana, which is just sitting like this and modestly moving forward with that curve in your lumbar spine, and feeling that elongation here. And that feeling the elongation can really help your spine heal. It lifts things up, right? Otherwise, we are in the twist, and we're going to turn around here and give ourselves a little alternate twist. Oh, sorry, I went the wrong way. God, I am asleep here. Okay, so I did the wrong way. All right. So we're going to turn around and give the alternate twist. All right. Clearly, I didn't sleep well last night, I think. All right, so let's lift the other leg up and over. Oops, other leg up and over, and draw that knee back. And lift up, hinge, open the body to the other side, and lifting up, pressing into the backhand. And breathing here. Good, so we've done back bends, and we're doing some twists. And now let's come back, press into the hands again. Good. And we'll come back and we'll do some, we'll do a forward bend here, but only if your back can manage it. And here you need a belt. And you're just invited to sit with that lovely hollow in your back and put some support around here. And you can have fairly relaxed arms here, but this just gives you something to draw your toe mounds back, and pressing out through your heels so your heels lift off the ground. You can feel your calves activate, and this is good because when you're stretching your hamstring, you want to make sure the whole hamstring is stretching, not just the upper part of your hamstring where it attaches. Those tendons can be quite testy. So, and now I'm just going to move forward with a straight back. I'm not going very far forward. And you could hold on to your shins if you like, or you could hold on to your feet, depending on how straight your back is coming back. See, mine isn't really very straight, so I think I actually need to come up a bit here. And it's better, actually, if you sit on something. I've got this old meditation pillow. It would probably work, but any kind of blanket would work. Just to raise your hips up. This is a bit high, but just to raise your hips up, because you can see it allows you to tilt forward a little bit more. It's kind of an aid. And now we're just going to fold over here if your back allows it. If not, just stay in Dandasana. And we're just going to really let gravity do some work here, allowing us to forward fold. So once again, this is good in terms of your hamstrings, and also you can feel the glute muscles stretching. You could hold on to the outer edges of your feet possibly, or your shins. I'm just letting my head dangle. The movement is, I'm imagining the crown of my head is moving towards my feet. So it's a lengthening. And gravity will do the descent work, and our breath will inhale and then exhale, and inhale and then exhale. And now we're going to roll up here. Good. And we'll do the one-legged version. So we'll draw this up into your thigh, and you can move that leg out slightly and then pivot towards that leg, and you could have your strap around your foot if you like, and you could hold it with the opposite arm so you have a little bit more of a twist, and you can come down this way. Just letting your head dangle. You could put something underneath your head if you have a sore neck. So here we are. And we're just resting. I'm going to momentarily check the time. We've got lots of time. Good. All right. Good. Now you can come up, and we'll just do the other side. We'll twist towards that one. We'll come down towards it, and I'm going to slide it down the outer seam to give myself a little bit of an extra twist and hold on there to the outer foot. But you do you. You might be up here, which is perfectly fine. It's your body. You're not competing with anyone. And I'm just breathing here. And then roll up and stretch your feet out here, giving yourself a little shake. Good. Now, let's move on to our feet for a moment. So I'm just going to, this is the best way to come up, I found. So you press into the ground with your hands, you're in tabletop, press your toes into the ground, stretch back, walk back to your
forward fold, and you are here in a dangle. Let's just dangle here for a moment. And I'm going to just use my, bend my knees so I don't overstretch those upper tendons. And I'm just going to move slightly like a palm frond in the breeze. So here I'm just, you can just keep your knees bent. I'm just bending and straightening slightly. It's kind of an easy stretch of the hamstrings. And I'm lifting up my toes, so I really feel my calves. And that helps stretch the hamstring and of the lower leg. And it helps alleviate that tendency to overstretch at the top. Good. Now I'm going to hold on to my toes with my 2 first fingers and my thumb, and I'm just going to lift my toes up, and I'm going to open my elbows and draw myself down. Now you might have legs bent here, which is perfectly fine, but it allows you to have a little bit more juice. All right. Now I'm going to just open my arms out, let go of my toes, open my arms out, and come up.
And open up. Very nice. Okay, here we are, standing up, feeling that opportunity to really roll our shoulders back. I need to put my glasses on so that I can feel where I am in the room. I can't really sense proprioception apparently without my glasses. All right, let's just lift our arms up and look up and open our arms out and bend at the hips and come down, dangle again for a moment, bend one leg and the other. We're having a very loosey-goosey movement here. And now we're going to come up again, inhaling and looking up, and then opening out and coming down again. And we're going to do it one more time, looking up and coming down again. Good. And here I'm at the bottom of my mat, and I'm just going to walk my hands forward into a plank. And I'm going to stay here for a moment to strengthen my arms. And here I'm pressing into my heels, pressing into the palms of my hands. And if I am strong in my arms, I'm going to walk one hand forward and then the other, and then the first hand back, and then the other, and then the other hand forward, and the other hand back, second hand forward, back, second hand back, and then forward and back. Just to strengthen your arms. Now, I'm going to drop my knees and my chest and my chin, and I'm coming up into a, well, let's come up into a low cobra, or you can come up into an upward dog here. Good. Now we're pressing back into downward dog. And we're going to draw your left leg up. Bring that knee forward. Let's touch the knee to the elbow and move back. Knee to the elbow and move back. And then let's bring that knee forward. Drop the back knee and put the front foot between your hands and lift all the way up. Good. Let's put our hands down and stretch forward. So we're opening up the front hip flexor here. And then let's come back and use your heel to open up the back of your leg. And let's do that a couple more times. We'll just move forward. It's good for your groin stretching, and then back and then forward, and then back, forward. And then let's bring that leg back and just extend the other leg out and come forward and back, forward and back. And you can, of course, be up here doing this. You could be up here doing this, and then when you have your heel back, you could reach for your toes and balance here. There we go. Balancing one more time. And then I'm going to just bring the back foot up and come back. Here we go. And come down, dangling here. And now we're going to come all the way up. And we're going to just now just come down to the ground. And here we go. I'm going to come onto my back and do a few closing movements because we're having a short class today. So we're just stretching our legs up. You could put, if you like, you could put a little block underneath your sacrum, which is that flat part at the base of the spine. And you could raise one leg up and leave it there and bring it down. Raise the other leg up, leave it there and bring it down. And you can bring both legs up. There we go. And here we're just doing an inversion, which is very good for you. And as I've mentioned before, I can't do handstands or headstands, except very preliminary handstands, but I can't do anything on my neck. So I have to be careful. I can't even really do plow or shoulder stands. So this is as close as I get to an inversion. And I can put my feet up the wall in Shavasana, and that's a lovely relaxing thing. Now let's open our legs out here. Just, we can press out through our heels. If this feels all right, you can just stay here. If it doesn't feel good, you can come back to just with your legs straight up. I like letting gravity do some of the work here. And I find this very relaxing. And now I'm going to lift my legs up. I'm going to bend them into my chest, put my feet down, take that block, or maybe we'll walk our feet out if we can, however far you can. And we might just leave our heels on the ground and our legs straight, feeling our pelvis tilt up. You shouldn't feel pain in your lower back here. It should be A-okay, your lower back. If you have a bad lower back, I would suggest not doing this unless you can manage. I would just suggest not doing it for the moment. It's too much for you. All right, now let's bring our feet back and remove the block and drop our sacrum to the ground, lift our legs up, and you can have a little bit of roly-poly here. I'm going to invite you to just put your feet out width of the mat and drop them down into windshield wiper. Very nice. This will juice up your hips with synovial fluid, and you'll be able to walk painlessly the rest of the day, hopefully. Good. And now let's just lift our legs up, hands in between, stretch our feet up to the ceiling, have a little inverted malasana or squat pose. So this is very good for your all kinds of muscles that help you go to the bathroom. And we have actually a very bad practice of sitting on high toilets rather than sitting in squats. It's not really very good for us. So here we are in squat. Now we'll just extend our legs up, open them wide again, back to the center, and draw them down. We'll drop our feet to the ground, and we will do a pelvic tilt here. Walk your feet towards your glutes, press into the ground with your feet, and tilt your pelvis up, and then roll it back down. Tilt your pelvis up, and then roll it back down. Tilt your pelvis up and roll it back down. And now tilt your pelvis up, roll it up, press up through your glutes, through your thighs, press that up, press your knees towards the opposite wall. And you can either hold onto the mat here, the outer edges of your mat, or you can clasp your hands underneath you, roll your shoulders underneath, and stretch your chest up, your pelvis up, your thighs up, pressing into your feet, pressing into your arms. Feel that breath opening, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And now we're going to come down vertebra by vertebra and lift up our legs here and give ourselves a little roly-poly. And now let's stretch our legs out into Shavasana, or you could put your legs up the wall, or you could just roll onto your side. You could sit up in a meditation position. You could just keep your eyes closed. Feel that energy that you have harnessed during the class. Feel it dissipating into relaxation. Feel yourself sinking into the mat. You can imagine that you can squeeze your hands and then let them go, squeeze your feet and let them go. You can roll your arms and legs from the shoulders and the hips and then let them go. You can tense up your glutes and let them go. Draw your shoulders to your ears and then let them go. Lift your shoulders up and then drop them down. Your scapula is moving down your spine in that case. And you can roll your head from side to side. Feel the skin on your scalp, on your forehead, letting go, on your cheeks. Your mouth might part, tongue can drop into your lower jaw. You can just let go, like a leaf, no effort. And you're inhaling and exhaling. Crowfoot, as he prepared to journey to the spirit world, is supposed to have said, "What is life? It is the flash of a firefly in the night. It is the breath of a buffalo in the wintertime. It is the little shadow which runs across the grass and loses itself in the sunset." And I'll invite you to feel the tingling in your fingers and toes, and to draw your feet into your knees into your chest, to roll a little bit, and perhaps to roll onto your side and push yourself up. You can, of course, stay in final relaxation. And I am going to put my hands on one on my heart, one on my hara, my power center, just below my belly. And I am going to link up, connect up my heart, my self-compassion, my compassion for others, my commitment to change the world with my power center, which will make it all happen. All right. The teacher and the student in me honor the teacher and student in you. Deep bows. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you the next time.